everybody, and welcome back to another Blind Chef video. It's been a long time, but I hope you are ready for another one. I'm gonna try not to make this one too long, but I think it's gonna be a fun one. So we are gonna be making fajitas. You guys know that we are in Texas, and if it's not barbecue, then it's Mexican food down here. And so we're gonna just make some chicken fajitas, and all we're gonna need, I don't have it all laid out this time, but we're gonna have bell peppers. And before I get to cutting, I've gotta show y'all something. Let me go grab it. I've got it. Check this dude out. This is an onion. So today I got our groceries delivered by Walmart, and they brought this to my door. Like, I'm gonna back up just so you see how big it is. Here's my hand. The thing is giant. We're not even gonna use 1/8 of this, but we're gonna cut it up and freeze it. But anyway, before I got started, I wanted to show you guys this. So let's get going. All right, guys, so I have my peppers. We're gonna start cutting these up before we get cooking. That's the first thing we do is cut our produce. And so anyway, I've got a sharp knife right here. Got my cutting board that's gonna be just for veggies. I got another one over here that's gonna be for the chicken. But anyway, as a visually impaired person, I really find it really easy to cut bell peppers. There's a lot of ridges on them, and so it's easy to cut them into sections. I don't know, it's just very tactile. So anyway, but you're gonna cut the top off. Remember to watch your fingers and cut the top of the pepper off. Just like that. Toss that to the side. We're gonna take the knife and put it in the inside, and take your knife around the edges, just around the outside, and you're gonna get that. Oops, and I just about got my finger. Be very careful where your finger goes. So anyway, you take it around the outside, and then you can pull the seeds out. Just like that. Okay. Then you can take your pepper, put the open side down flat, and I'm taking it like this across and cutting it in half. And then I'll cut it in half again, and half again. And then, you know, when you get peppers at the restaurant, how they're kind of skinny pieces, so just keep cutting them in half. I'm not gonna cut every pepper on video, but I've told you guys before on videos that I really do enjoy cutting produce. So I find it kind of relaxing. And so anyway, I'm just doing this. So it's been a long time since I've been on here, guys. So sorry about that. I took a new job, and so working full time, it's hard to put videos together, and it takes a while to edit, but I do like doing this stuff. And so anyways, oh, sorry, my wife's phone is ringing. Anyway, she's gonna answer it on her watch in the other room, I think. Y'all recognize that song? Anybody? Take your guesses what that song's from. So anyway, so we're gonna cut these up just like this. And I think those are pretty good, because remember when we put them in the skillet to actually cook the fajitas together, these are going to shrink and cook down. And so anyway, I'm gonna do that to all 3 of the peppers, about a 3-pack of peppers. We'll do that. So let me get these cut up, and then we will move on. All right, guys, so you're gonna do a little bit of this with me, this humongous onion. So normally, I've never cut an onion this big before, but you cut the top off. I hope you guys can see this. I got a little knife, but I think it's still gonna work. Cut that end off. Cut the other end off. Kind of butchered it a little bit. This is probably the most entertaining part of this video, is just cutting this onion. Then I'm gonna cut it in half. As much as I can. All right, there, it is cut in half. We're gonna maybe use half of this one. So anyway, I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna take a couple layers off here because I actually forgot to take the skin off. We're just gonna take the first layer off and then we'll use that. And we'll do some cutting here. It's gonna be some big onion strips for sure. I'll probably cut these in half. And what I'm gonna do is cut this onion up, and then what we don't use tonight, I'm actually going to chop up, and then I'm gonna put it in the freezer, and then we can use it for the future. And so I think that is how we will handle this ginormous onion. And so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna take this and do half. I'm just cutting the onion in half, and I cut it in half, and then cut it in half, and then we have these really big onion strips. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this onion up, and then we will start on the meat. See you in a second. All right, guys, so we're back. I've got my chicken right here in the package. I've got about, I think it's 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, and so I'm gonna open this up. I've got a separate cutting board here for your meat. So anyway, we're gonna kind of cut this. It's a little cutting board, but that's all I got to work with. So anyway, I've cleaned my knife, and we're just gonna kind of make strips that about, you know, the size you would have with fajitas. I do try to make them a little bit bigger so that there's enough to really get into the meat and check the temperature, because I cook a lot by just making sure that it is at a safe temperature to eat, instead of, like, you know, just looking at it, because I can't really see the white of the chicken or the color of the chicken very good. And so anyway, gonna put that on a plate. And then continue to cut this up. Remember to just keep your fingers away from the blade, your knuckles turned in. You don't want to slice a fingertip off. Sometimes it gets close sometimes. I make myself nervous a little bit. But anyway, we're gonna cut these chicken breasts up. I've got 2, and some of this is a little fatty on the end, so I don't know if I'll put that in there. But anyway, have 2 of those. I'm gonna throw that away. And then what we are going to use is a seasoning called Texican seasoning, and it is really good. It's a really good Tex-Mex. I feel like it's kind of in between, you know, like taco or fajita seasoning and barbecue, kind of smoky. And so anyway, I really like that. So, but anyway, like I was saying earlier, I got a job at a local high school, and so I've been doing that. And so by the time I get home in the evenings, it's really hard to make videos, but I'm off for the summer right now. Maybe switching jobs, not really sure. But just thought I would do one for fun. I hadn't done a video in a while, and I've had several people, especially my friend Kendall. Hey Kendall, because I know you're watching this, has asked me, when are you gonna do another Blind Chef video? When are you gonna do another Blind Chef video? So I was like, all right, I gotta do one. And so anyway, I thought, why not tonight when we're doing fajitas? So anyway, I've got that cut up, and I maybe should have made those a little smaller, and I still might. But anyway, got that there, and then I'm gonna grab my Texican seasoning. Make sure this is the right one. Yep, and just sprinkle it on there. I'm gonna wipe off this container when I get done because I got chicken stuff all over it. And we don't want to cross-contaminate stuff in the kitchen. That's also really important. So just coat it really good. We like lots of seasoning on our fajitas. And so anyway, I think that's looking really good. And sometimes we even add more once we get it in the skillet. All right, so now the plan is I'm gonna get our skillet, our cast iron skillet heated up, and then we'll be back. I'll reset the camera. All right, y'all, so I've got a cast iron skillet on medium heat, and here's a rule that I always want to make sure visually impaired and blind people, and really anyone, safety rule, is if you have a pan with the handle, push it off to the side. Don't hang it off in front, because a kid can knock it off, a blind person can knock it off, anybody could, and then you got a problem. So always on the side towards the back, and you can also grab it that way too. So, okay, so I've got my onions here, and that's what we're gonna start with first, is throwing some onions in to get this really seasoned up real good. So here we go. And I got it hot enough because you can hear the sizzle. Listen to that. I wish it was a little bit louder so you could hear it, but it is starting to cook. I'm gonna grab me something to kind of work this stuff with. I think we're just gonna use these tongs right here. And you know, I should have put the handle over on my other side, but this will work. I'm gonna add a few more. Just like that. I'm gonna break some of these apart. And we don't want them to cook down too much. Well, I rather them cook down too much. I actually cut everything a little bit bigger than normal. I actually am not a huge veggie person, as y'all probably know. Kendall's probably laughing at me. But we want this to cook down a little bit. But Paisley loves her vegetables. And used to, I'd put all the peppers in first and then put the chicken in last. But actually, the better thing is to let these onions cook down. Then we're gonna add the meat, and then before it's perfectly done, then we will go and add the peppers. So we'll let these cook down and we'll add the chicken. All right, guys, these are sizzling now. I actually went ahead and added just a few of my peppers. I cut a lot of peppers, so there's plenty. So I went ahead and put a few of those in, and everything's starting to cook down. And so I think we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken, let it start cooking. And so I've got it right here. It's already smelling great in here, by the way. Start putting it in like that. Just be careful, cast iron gets really hot, guys. But now we're sizzling. So if you would, down in the comments, you should be able to put, let me know if you like fajitas or not, if you like Mexican food, and if so, what is your favorite Mexican food? That'd be awesome to hear. When we moved to Texas, we really learned what Mexican food was like. We were in Oklahoma and just thought we knew Mexican, but it is a lot better since we moved here. So anyway, I'm gonna let this cook, gonna flip them over again, and then we'll come back and check them here in just 5, 6, maybe 8 minutes, and then I'll check the temperature. So stay with us. All right, guys. So while this is cooking, thought I'd just show you. We're also got, you know, with fajitas, you got to have the sour cream, right? So we got sour cream. We've got, of course, the cheese. Got the cheese. We've got Tostitos, right? And then I made a while back some homemade salsa, but it is not any good anymore. And so I bought some on the border salsa. So that's what we're gonna have when we put it all together. So I thought while this chicken was cooking, I'd go ahead and show y'all what we were using this time. So anyway, it's still cooking. Stick around. All right, everybody, so it's been about 5 or 6 minutes, and then I took the tongs and I flipped them over, because I did do bigger pieces just to make it easier for me. Anyway, I did have Paisley come in and help me just to basically make sure I had it all turned over. And then I'm going to use our meat thermometer here in just a second, and it'll show if it's the right temperature. So I'm giving it another 5 minutes, and then we will use the thermometer and check it out. And then I'm going to start also adding, in fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and start adding some more of these peppers. Just like that on top, and they'll start cooking on top of that meat. So Paisley loves pepper, so I'm putting a bunch on there. So those will start cooking. So, all right, that meat's still cooking. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so I am going to check the temperature, and I'm just going to barely take my fingertip and find a thick piece of chicken. You know, it's interesting, a lot of professional cooks can actually tell you the temperature by touching it, and I haven't quite learned that trick. But I'm going to take this, stick it in right there, make sure it's not touching the bottom of the pan. 187. That's 187. I'm going to try another one. There's a thick piece right there. Let it try to register for a minute. 164. Okay, 164. So they're a little different temperatures. But this is how I usually make sure that meat is safe to eat. 165. See, that's 165. So it's just about there. I'm going to let it cook for just a minute. I'm going to add a few more. I'll stir it up real good. Add a few more peppers in here. There's a few more onions. So they're not all cooked down to just nothing. But that is looking good. I wish there was, I've said this before, smell-o-vision, right? Because this smells delicious. And you know, I'm not a huge pepper fan. I put a few in my fajitas, but I make sure they're cooked soft. But they do bring flavor to that chicken. So that's what's awesome. So anyway, gonna give them just a couple minutes, and then we will plate it up. Okay, and while that's finishing up, I've also got some tortillas right here on a plate. We're actually gonna pop in the microwave and warm just a little bit. We have a tortilla warmer, but I can't find it. So anyway, we're gonna pop these in and then we'll build them. All right, guys, so we are here, right here where we started, except now we have beautiful fajitas. So I know I'll hear it from Kendall if I don't take a bite. So I'm gonna take a bite. So good. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time, whenever that is, on The Blind Chef.